So the NBA All-Star game is in 3 weeks, and I wanted to do my Eastern Conference edition for today. And it's a tough list, I'm not going to lie. When looking at the reserves, there's going to be some snubs here. Now, for the starters, when we go to the big man position, obviously Giannis is going to get in. Karl Anthony Towns has been phenomenal for the Knicks. I think he's been perfect next to Jalen Brunson, especially he's had multiple games where he's had 20 rebounds. I think he's still leading the NBA in rebound, or he's second. It's been really close to him and Sabonis lately. Then you have Jason Tatum. At point guard, when I'm looking at LaMelo Ball, I'm not mad about it, but if I had to pick another guy over him, it's going to sound controversial, but I would go with Donovan Mitchell. I know he's more of a shooting guard, but the next guy I would have in there as my starting big is Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley has been phenomenal this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you look at the way he's improved this game, you're the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. You have been phenomenal handling the ball. You've been playing in situations where you're succeeding. You're shooting better from the three. And also in spot up 3-point shooting has been great as well. So, that would be my starting five, but I get why people have LaMelo Ball because of his, averaging over 30 points. I know he missed some games. And the Hornets at the bottom of the East. But, for me, I value winning with some of this as well. And the Cavs have been storming through the NBA. And it's tough to just not admit that maybe Mobley should get some recognition in the front court next to Tatum, Giannis, and Donovan Mitchell. Now, that's probably a weird lineup, but that's where I would go. But to be, conservative, obviously LaMelo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Tatum, and Towns. I think that's fine. Now, going to reserves, this is where things get hard and dicey. I got Jalen Brunson. I've got Cade Cunningham because Cade Cunningham has been phenomenal for the Pistons. I think he deserves to be the first-time All-Star player. You're with a roster that's more competent. He's surrounded with shooters, and he's their best player. Also, Jaden Ivey going down, and you're still finding ways to win basketball games. That deserves a lot of praise, and Cade's having a phenomenal season. Next guy up, Paulo Banchero. I know he's had some injuries, but he's back, and I think Banchero will get in. Just for the front court reasons, I definitely would put Banchero in. My other guy for big man is going to be Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen, again, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, has been great. And, you need some front court depth. I'm going to put Evan Mobley in here as well. I just talked about him. I think he deserves a spot on this team. So we got Cade, we've got Brunson, we've got Allen, we've got Paulo, we've got Mobley. Now we have two reserves left. Damian Lillard definitely deserves to be in. I know people say, well, Trae Young, he's been leading the league in assists, but his overall field goal percentage has not been good. Dame has been picking it up, and the Bucks been playing really good basketball as of late. And he's been phenomenal. I think he deserves to be in that all-star slot. I would pick him. And the last guy on the list, this is the hardest one for me. And it's either Maxey or Jaylen Brown. Now, I went back and forth with this. I actually had Jalen Johnson at first because he has been great for the Hawks, but I think he's a year away. So I said, no, I'm not going to do Jalen Johnson, although he has a shot next year, I think, to be in this list. So Tyler Hero has been phenomenal. I don't want to forget about Tyler Hero. I think his improvement deserves a lot of praise. But when looking at Maxey or Jaylen Brown, it's tough because Maxey has carried a huge burden with the offense because Embiid's been out. Paul George has been so inconsistent. I think he's the worst free agent signing of last offseason. I think he's been terrible for the Sixers. I mean, Norman Powell is still playing better basketball than Paul George as of today. That's not a good sign. So, and that's no disrespect to Norman Powell, but he came off the bench and then he was saying the Clippers are going to be fine. We'll be good without Paul George. And he has backed up those words. It seems like Paul George cares more about his podcast than he does of playing basketball. And the Sixers are just a total mess right now. I think he had 11 points last night against the Nuggets. I mean, you need more out of your second guy, especially when Joel Embiid is out, but he just hasn't shown up. So between Maxey and Jaylen Brown, the conservative side is going to say Jaylen Brown. But I don't think he's been as good this year because his percentages are down. As a Celtics fan, he's had his moments. He's been great, but other times he's just disappeared. Defense has slipped a little bit this year. So that's the conservative side of me. But I want to go with Tyrese Maxey too because, what he's doing for this team. And I know they're bad. They're a bad basketball team. They haven't been good all year. But I think he's been really good at the same time. So it's just tough because you can make an argument for Trae Young, because the Hawks are in the playoff hunt and he's leading the NBA in assists. I know his field goal percentage is not that great, but he's still carrying, that offense and helping them and orchestrating things. If you want to make an argument for Jalen Johnson, I'm not against that. I think the man's at 19, 10, and 5. That's pretty good numbers to me, and he's shooting 50% from the field. You can make an argument for Jalen Johnson. That's why I thought long and hard about Jalen versus Jalen Brown because the numbers aren't that far off. And I think Jalen Brown from three is like 33%, but I think Jalen's around like also 32% from three. So it's close, but his field goal percent is better than Jalen Brown. So Jalen Brown's at 45% from the field. So it's just tough because you look at these guys. Again, you can make an argument for Tyler Hero as well. I think he's been really good. I don't know how people are this is from last week, so I'm curious to see the update. They have Jordan Poole ahead of Tyler Hero. That doesn't make any sense to me. But for now, I mean, if Franz was healthy, he would be in. There wouldn't be any conversation. The way he was carrying the Magic when Paulo Banchero was out was just unbelievable. But obviously, I think the health will affect his entry. And I think if they were both healthy, like Paulo and Franz, then they both would get in. But yeah, that it's tough because people are going to get snubbed. Like a guy like Trey Young, you can make a strong argument why he should be in the All-Star game. Like no arguments for me. You make a strong argument for Tyrese Maxey why he should get in. Tyler Hero, again, at the bottom of the list, I know that he hasn't been the greatest, but he's been their best player all year long. And for him not to get in, listen, I'm not going to argue. If you want to make a case for Tyler Hero, hey, I got no problem here. I think, in my opinion, and this is something I've been thinking about, they should have 15 guys in the All-Star game. I know that sounds crazy, but you could throw 15 guys in there and that'd be fun to watch. I don't know if that would ever happen, but I think it would give other guys an opportunity to make the game, especially when they're having good years and putting up good numbers. But the guard list is so packed up. I thought at one point, not putting LaMelo Ball in the All-Star game, I know it sounds crazy, but when I saw how many games he missed, he's only missed about, I think, like he's played 28 games this year and he's healthy now. But the Hornets are terrible. Yet he's averaging over 30 points. So the efficiency hasn't been the greatest, but again, you're averaging over 30 and you're on a bad basketball team. I think he deserves some praise. And I love LaMelo Ball. So I only, had him out of the entire All-Star game because I thought to myself, well, more guys have been healthier. They've been more consistent. But when you have Paulo in there, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? So yeah, it's a tough list. There's no like disrespect here. I think Tyler Hero has been phenomenal. I think Maxey's been good. Trey Young's been great. It's just a tough list, and I think they should, add an extra reserve or two, and it will probably work out. When a guy gets snubbed, like say, Hero doesn't make it, but then let's just say Dame gets hurt, can't make it, or Jalen Brunson gets tired because the Knicks play their guys so many minutes a night, and let's just say they're out, and then Tyler Hero, gets in there, or Trey Young gets in there. So just really tough, with the selection. But I got Giannis, Tatum, I got Cat. I got Paulo Banchero. I got Evan Mobley. I got Jaylen Brown. But again, you can make an argument for Jalen Johnson. I've got LaMelo Ball. I got Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, and Jalen Brunson and Cade Cunningham. I think those are the guys that should get in, and I think those are the guys that will get in. We'll see. If I'm wrong, cool. I don't know if I said Jerry Allen already, but yeah, Jerry Allen. So yeah, I mean, again, this is such a tough list because there's been so many guys that are worthy this year, but there's going to be some snubs. And yeah, when it comes to guys like Jalen Johnson, I think he'll be there next year. I really do. The way he's playing and ascending, he's going to battle it out with Amen Thompson for most improved player in the NBA. They've both been really good for their rosters. And yeah, shout out to both of them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on who you think should be in the All-Star game on the East side. Do you think there's, some guys I mentioned that should get in over others? Love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.